If you're convinced that true hope is impossible after life shatters your world, then this video is for you. Discover how faith becomes an anchor in life's darkest storms. Watch until the end, your breakthrough may begin here. We're not talking about simple positivity. Not surface-level encouragement. We're talking about people who buried children. Who heard the word terminal. Who watched everything they built collapse overnight. And somehow, they found a hope that didn't just help them survive. It transformed them. But here's the question. What if the darkest moment of your life is not the end of your story, but the beginning? The truth is, early 2026 has already left many people breathless. Sudden losses. Economic pressure. Unexpected diagnoses. Relationships ending without warning. Maybe you're watching this thinking, I don't even recognize my life anymore. Psalm 34 verse 18 says, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." But what does that actually mean when your world feels crushed? Have you ever felt like God was silent when you needed him most? Sarah lost her 8-year-old son in a car accident. She said the silence in her house felt louder than any scream. Every toy untouched. Every bedroom light switched off. She admitted something most people are afraid to say.
I didn't just lose my son. I lost my will to live.
Have you ever felt grief so heavy it felt physical? Then there was Daniel. A thriving business owner. In 6 months, bankruptcy. Lawsuits. Reputation gone. He said,
"It wasn't the money, it was the humiliation."
And Maria. Diagnosed with aggressive cancer at 42. 3 children at home. She whispered, "I'm not afraid of dying. I'm afraid of leaving them." At their lowest point, hope didn't just feel unlikely. It felt insulting. Have you ever been so low that encouragement actually annoyed you? Job 3 verse 26 says, "I have no peace, no quietness, I have no rest, but only turmoil." Even in the Bible, despair wasn't hidden. So why do we think we're failing when we feel it? Here's where everything shifted. Not instantly. Not magically. But slowly. Sarah found herself reading Lamentations 3 verses 22 to 23. "Because of the Lord's great love we are not consumed. For his compassions never fail. They are new every morning, great is your faithfulness." She said something unexpected. "I realized grief didn't mean God left." Daniel stumbled into Romans 8 verse 28. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him. But here's the tension. What if you don't see any good yet? Maria held on to Isaiah 43 verse 2. "When you pass through the waters, I will be with you." Not if. When. What if the Bible isn't denying your storm, but preparing you for it? Ancient words. Written thousands of years ago. Yet somehow describing your 2026 heartbreak. Coincidence? Or blueprint? The turning point wasn't the pain disappearing. It was discovering they weren't alone in it. Hebrews 6 verse 19 says, "We have this hope as an anchor for the soul, firm and secure." An anchor doesn't stop the storm. It keeps you from drifting. Sarah started volunteering at a grief support group. Daniel began mentoring struggling entrepreneurs, for free. Maria began writing letters to her children, not goodbye letters, but faith letters. Small steps. Tiny acts of defiance against despair. What if hope isn't a feeling, but a decision? 2 Corinthians 4 verses 8 to 9 says, "We are hard-pressed on every side, but not crushed, struck down, but not destroyed." Notice that. Not destroyed. What if your current chapter isn't destruction, but construction? Today, Sarah runs a foundation in her son's name. Daniel rebuilt, not just financially, but spiritually. Maria's cancer went into remission. But even before remission, she had peace. Not because circumstances changed, but because perspective did. James 1 verses 2 to 4 says, Consider it pure joy, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. What if your pain is producing something you cannot yet see? What if the valley is forming strength the mountaintop never could? And what if the story you're surviving right now will become someone else's survival guide? Romans 15 verse 13 says, "May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in him." Not temporary hope. God of hope. So here's the question that changes everything. Will you let your pain define you? Or refine you? Even in the deepest valley, grace still whispers. This is not the end. If this message spoke to you, don't scroll away from this moment. Type the word anchor in the comments as a declaration that you are choosing hope, even if you don't feel it yet. And if you know someone who is walking through a storm right now, share this with them. You never know whose midnight this might light up. Subscribe for more biblical encouragement every week, because your story isn't over, and you don't have to walk it alone.